beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the union of sarcasm and humor. But if anybody here believes that these two should not be together, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well, actually, Liam, I don't really understand sarcasm or humour, so I don't tend to get a lot of the jokes in this series, and I take everything you say literally.
Then why do you watch?
It's because of the issues in the videos that had a problem. Leaning forward, you assuming that Anadactyl had a type advantage over Charizard, despite the fact that Anadactyl in debut game doesn't learn any rock type move.
By the way, it's my first video of 2021, so happy 2021 everyone, let's hope it's better than last year. Oh, can't be much worse, can it?
Anyway, we start off with a simple question. Why does Brock carry the egg in his bloody arms? That's just asking for it to be dropped and smashed. Brock, mate, you have a backpack that is shown to have the same mechanics as Mary Poppins' bloody handbag. Why not just wrap the egg in a sleeping bag and stuff it in there?
Actually, it would make it worse for the egg, since it actually make a higher risk of breakage than soften it. So in other words, keep Liam away from dragging the egg for that idea.
The gang stumble across a missing child poster, and the kid in the poster kinda looks like Team Rocket's James if he were a child. Now from the looks of it, James must have aged about 5 to 10 years since this photo was taken, so what's the point of having this outdated photo up? Like, not to be insensitive, but how many years after a kid goes missing in a world filled with monsters that can breathe fire and can control electricity does this sign become pointless?
Yeah, but they don't know that it's James, but instead a kid that look identical to him. Hell, they may be assuming that it's James' younger brother that went missing.
I absolutely hate the way Ash says the title card of this episode. Holy Matrimony! When it's clearly meant to be a play on the term holy matrimony, which means marriage, but also an exclamation like holy cow or holy rusted metal, Batman. So surely it should be holy matrimony. The worst part of this is I can hear people being like, what do you mean? I don't hear a difference.
So this posh twat turns up, and instead of just talking to Ash and Go, who are mere feet away from him, he shouts into this megaphone, which somehow makes his voice quieter than Ash's. How does that work? Mate, don't you wish you had the kind of money where you could waste it on stuff that don't even work?
Yeah, that's bizarre, since megaphone, as name suggests, supposed being loud and booming. But yet what better, what has is more likely trying to give the impression of sound wave talks.
Oh look, another shockingly huge mansion in the middle of nowhere. How did I never realise this was such a big trope in the Pokemon anime? Almost every other episode takes place in a giant mansion in the middle of nowhere.
Also, that smaller mansion there is apparently the dog house for Growlithe, which is the rich kid's favourite Pokemon. Look, right, I love my dogs very, very much. I love both of them so much. And if I had a big enough house, they'd probably each have their own bedroom, maybe a playroom, something like that, but not a whole bloody mansion. By all means, they can free roam the entire house, but they're not getting their own bloody building.
Are you serious? Hey, Cheese Sandwich, play Dare to Be Stupid made by Weird Al.
It turns out James's parents are dead. Freshly dead. As of this morning. Their coffins are in the foyer and everything. Well, this episode's certainly taken a dark turn, hasn't it? But on the plus side, James will now be rolling in inheritance money, and isn't that really what matters? The butler says that after James ran away, his parents just didn't have the strength to go on, which gives the game away that they're not actually dead. Like, think about it. He's clearly been gone away from this estate for a very long time because he's aged considerably. He's like double the age he was in the missing photo. But his parents only died of broken hearts this morning? Bollocks. This butler is a rubbish liar. Pass it on.
Oh gee, it's almost like cartoon. I'm making fun of how rich people for make an obvious dumb lie. Like a government tried to sue Val for illegal things that harm children, but got exposed by using the game that is rated M, using a screenshot of a data mechanic, which, by the way, that evidence state that the user lost the chance to get the gold, despite the fact the screenshot she got is actually from the streamer who got the gold, which the user who saw the clip called you out for it.
Look at this. This is one of the pictures of evidence, and someone found the screenshot. It literally is a screenshot from our an opening, bro. They used the screenshot to showcase what it's like to get a golden game, but they mysteriously left what appears to be an monopixel mode on the side of the court documents. Look what they wrote, bro. As shown in figure J, the spinning wheel may come to rest immediately next to the item for the rare and valuable item. The visual gives users the impression that they almost won the valuable item. Bro, they allegedly screenshotted a frame of an opening, one of the gold, right? And they're saying that we got baited in this. Hey, lady, we got the gold in this. I got the gold in this. I'm pretty sure it was an M9 Vanilla. I did not get baited by my Lord Gaben, bro. He would not do that shit.
And using game cause violence cards, which is show how dumb rich people are. Seriously, government, stop that. Because this is getting embarrassing these days.
Since James isn't allowed to claim his inheritance unless he marries someone in the next 24 hours, Jesse suggests just faking a wedding and running off once they've got the money, which James says is ridiculous. How is that ridiculous, mate? Your MO in Team Rocket the whole time has been to make as much money as possible. And now you have an opportunity to be rich beyond your wildest dreams, and all you have to do is fake a wedding that will be planned out for you and it'll be done within 24 hours. Once you've got the money, you can leave and go and get a quick annulment or whatever, and then Bob's your uncle. You're rich, your friends are rich, and you won't have to spend the rest of your days following around 10-year-olds and trying to steal their pets. God, when you say it like that, Team Rocket's daily life's a bit creepy, isn't it?
That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah,
Jessie and Meow change into invisible costumes so they can essentially use James as a puppet without being seen, but is that even a thing? Jessie's literally just dressed like she's going to a funeral. How is the butler not like, yo James, is that girl in black behind you? Especially since Jessie looks like someone that the butler knows, which we'll get to in a moment.
Once Team Rocket enter the mansion, it's revealed that James's mum and dad faked their own deaths in order to get their son to come home. First of all, what a pair of sociopaths! Had James actually cared about his parents, he would have come home a broken person filled with regrets, and then the reveal that they're not actually dead and it was all fake would have driven the man insane. Secondly, why would they reveal that they're alive right now? Surely they should have had the butler coerce James into getting married in the space of a day, and then only reveal that they're actually alive once all the paperwork is signed. Revealing all of this to James early means he knows they're trying to manipulate him, and therefore now he has an extra reason to resist all this. The moral of this story is, if you're gonna with people's emotions to try and manipulate them, make sure you get what you want out of them first.
Yeah, no, James had no soul for those traps.
Quick note, I was going to mention how weird it was that James didn't even seem slightly sad upon hearing the news that his parents had passed away. But the fact that in this scene James says this is just the kind of stunt they'd try and pull to get him to come home means he knew it was bull from the start. And that's why I didn't bring it up.
Referring to the previous scene and the videos.
James's parents tell Hopkins, the butler, to begin preparations, and he picks up James and Jessie and Meowth, revealing that he knew that Jessie and Meowth were there all along, he just ignored them. What a rude butler. He should be sacked.
Hopkins, along with James's parents, rush Team Rocket upstairs to begin preparations, leaving Ash and Co downstairs in the foyer. My question is, why do Ash and Co stick around? They could quite happily just leave and carry on their adventure, knowing that Team Rocket aren't going to be a problem for at least 24 hours. But of course they don't. Instead, our protagonists sneak upstairs and eavesdrop on this private family matter. That's not very protagonisty.
Except they want to know if James is okay or not, since James's parents fake their death to lure him into a wedding that he doesn't want. Plus you are well aware that the protagonist isn't always good. Like Red from the game, who entered Sullivan game corners and defeat Team Rocket Grunt to access Team Rocket hideout and obtain Silk Scope.
Direct quote from James's father.
A man who can't settle down is like a bumblebee without a nose.
Mate, this is the Pokemon world? What the hell's a bumblebee? It's revealed that the girl that James's parents expect James to marry is there with them, a girl called Jessie-Belle. James's mother tells Jessie-Belle it will be her duty to transform James from a worthless do-nothing to a respectable gentleman. Jessie-Belle responds,
"As you wish, mother."
Wait, mother? But that's James's mother. If she's Jessie-Belle's mother too...
Oh no, oh no, oh no, yo, 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 oh no, you didn't.
Well, actually, Liam, I think Jessie-Belle was calling James's mum mother because she's going to be Jessie-Belle's future mother-in-law. Or maybe mother is just the character's name?
Stop right there, mate. You are reaching right now. All I know is James's parents want him to marry his own sister. That's grim.
Oh, I am with Liam on this. Like, incest marriage suggested line really for kids? That is okay for kids, but not called a food that is called rice ball? Like, hypocrite much? I'd rather see a queer marriage, which is much safer than incest marriage. Thank you very much.
Oh look, Jezebel looks just like Jessie. Now what's weird here is neither James's parents nor Hopkins, who if you remember literally picked up Jessie and carried her upstairs, made any comment about the fact that Jessie looks like Jezebel. Thing is, even if you were pretending not to notice someone, if you came across someone who looked exactly like someone you know, who was in the same building as you, mere rooms away, you would say something. You'd want to stand them side by side and compare, wouldn't you? I'm just saying, it's weird that everyone's shocked that Jezebel looks like Jessie, but nobody gives a toss that Jessie looks like Jezebel.
I don't know. Jessie is hiding her identity so no one noticed them.
Although, if Jessie's mom
Is revealed to be alive and reunited with her daughter after years of absence makes the news mischief, revealed that Jezebel is Jessie's identical
cousin,
which explains why they look identical.
Apparently Jezebel can't see Jessie or Meowth here and asks why James is talking to himself. I want to believe that she's pretending not to see them, but surely if she knows that Jessie and Meowth are clearly trying to push James into going through with the wedding, which is what Jezebel herself wants, why would she then make herself out to be dumb as soup?
To make sure they are in the room where they cannot escape with James. Duh.
As Jezebel and definitely just James are making their way down to the basement, Ash and co are still following. But of course they're keeping their distance because they don't want to be caught sticking their nosy beaks in where they don't belong. This is still not very protagonistic.
Yeah, you already said that.
Jezebel leads them to a room that turns out to be the mansion's dungeon. Not being funny, but if you have to lead a person to a literal dungeon in order to convince them to marry you, are you sure that you two are really that compatible?
James's father finally reveals that they could see Jessie and Meowth the whole time. We know, Hopkins literally picked them up in front of you. This really highlights how dumb Jessie and Meowth are. How do you get lifted off the ground by a person and then still think you haven't been spotted?
Referring to Sin 20.
Jessie throws a smoke bomb on the floor so she and Meowth can escape, leaving James behind. What great friends. Also, this makes those two even stupider because they're leaving James behind, which means James will probably be angry with them and therefore probably won't share his inheritance with them. You're literally running from money, you pair of pillocks.
Jezebel tries to stop James from running away by repeatedly cracking a huge whip at him. Listen, love, unless you're hoping that James has some real dark kinks, you should probably cut that shit out. Big ass bull whips like that can cut a person really deep, and slicing a person open isn't usually something people appreciate at a wedding.
Gee, it's almost like there's a reason why James doesn't want to marry her.
I'll tell you what people do appreciate, and that's G. James's parents sit back and sip tea while James desperately runs from the woman trying to whip him into submission and act like they're a perfect match, while sitting under a parasol inside a basement dungeon. I think if James gets out alive, he could have grounds to get these two sectioned, which would probably put him in control of their money. That's probably an easier path to wealth than this marriage fiasco.
Oh my god! Oh my frigging Primus. Liam sounded like Noga when he discovered where Pokemon came from.
Direct quote from Brock.
I don't like to get involved in family squabbles.
No, but you do enjoy watching them without anyone noticing from behind a bunch of crates, don't you? These three are the least protagonisty protagonists. Pass it on.
Let's move on.
I'm surprised I need to say this, but for anyone not familiar with human relationships, if you need to have a bile plume use stun spore on your crush to stop them from escaping you, chances are you two just aren't meant to be. You shouldn't be pursuing any kind of romantic relationship without consent from the other party, and needing to use stun spore is definitely a sign that the other party does not consent.
Direct quote from Jezebel.
I'll make a gentleman out of you yet, even if it destroys us.
What a stupid thing to say. If it ends up destroying you, then what's the point?
Cool. But did anyone notice where Liam says stupid? The audio sound lowered?
What a stupid thing to say. What a stupid thing to say. What a stupid thing to say.
Oh, there's
Going down. It's a shoe and robot.
You're lagging.
After being discovered and thrown out of the mansion by Hopkins, Ash and Co can hear Growly, James's Growlithe, trying to bash its way out of its doghouse, but it's locked.
So naturally, they all grab the doors and pull as hard as they can while Growly bashes the other side until they spring open. Can you really unlock doors like that just by pulling them enough? To be honest, that's a big security issue. Like, you'd think a family with enough money to have a second mansion purely for what is essentially a dog could at least invest in some deadbolts.
Can't even muster the motivation to make fun of that.
As James realizes he's not going to be able to get out of the wedding, he yells for Growly, which is weird because as far as he's aware, Growly is still locked in his doghouse. So what made him think Growly would come and help? Also, I'm going to ask the obvious question. When James ran away originally, why didn't he take Growly with him? Growlithe is a great Pokemon, and this one is clearly super loyal to James specifically, so why did he leave it behind?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me as well. And it's much more bizarre when Giovanni gave Team Rocket with their old Pokemon back, and Growlithe doesn't reunite with James. Major disappointment at Pokemon Journeys for missed opportunity.
Jessie Bell reveals that she really doesn't like Growly and thinks he's horrid, which again makes me wonder why in James' absence they didn't just get rid of Growly. After all, they only seem to care about keeping Jezebel happy, so why did they keep around the pet that she doesn't like and that James didn't bother to take with him?
Growly rushes James away from another Vileplume stun spore, out a window and into his giant doghouse. And within seconds, Jessie Bell is on top of the roof of the main mansion talking about how she'll follow James to the ends of the earth. Firstly, why did she very obviously run all the way from the basement of the building to the very top floor and onto the roof just to make that remark? Like, who's she trying to look cool for? Secondly, you say you'll follow him to the ends of the earth, but after he ran away the first time, you didn't even go out and search for him. You just waited for him to be tricked into coming back. Sounds a bit lazy, to be honest.
That's because she was a child, and I doubt her parents would let her outside find James alone at that age. Now she said that since she is an adult.
Well, actually, there is...
James then talks about how when his and Jessie Bell's engagement was first announced, she kept trying to change him to make him more refined. But everyone seems to ignore the fact that James can't be any older than 8 years old in this flashback. So his mum and dad not only tried to get him to marry his sister, and no, I'm not letting that go, but they also wanted them to get married when they were still literal children. James's family are psychotic creeps. Pass it on.
10 freaking fault with that.
Jessie Bell and Vileplume smash a hole through the wall to get into Growly's doghouse, but surely Hopkins would have had a key. How impatient is this woman?
Oh, you're aware they use keys to lock up Growly in the doghouse. Then what the heck is that previous scene?
Also, are we really supposed to believe that a Vileplume can break a hole in this mansion wall, but a Growlithe can't? Come off it, mate.
Direct quote from Jessie Bell.
Vileplume, stun them to sleep just like before.
Yeah, that's not how Stun Spore works. Stun Spore paralyzes, it doesn't put things to sleep.
Yeah, I think she was drinking too much in Alabama while saying the wrong moves, eh? I cannot believe that 4Kids let this slide in font. It's okay for kids. Because I'm pretty sure they are not in Alabama.
Nope, but they are in New York City, which is where incest marriage is also acceptable.
Oh, nice joke there, which I doubt New York City would do that.
Nope, it's not a joke, it's a legit real. And it's still a thing.
Excuse me!
The nerd isn't joking on this. In fact, out of 32 states, 18 of them allowed this marriage to exist, and New York City is one of them.
No! It can't be! No! No!
Okay. New York City is way more controversial than we're afraid of. Come on, Aris. Let's watch a movie together to get that out of our head.
And you'll find Starman is absolutely horrendous with bad system.